Has the game of golf become too hard hitting? Welcome to Mark and Pete. Here's a thought.
A golf ball is round and small, and is made to be quite sturdy. But feathers sprawl and quickly fall when you hit a short birdie. Well, that may be
True.
flippant, but the bottom line is many golfers are up in arms. Literally, yes, with their clubs. Why is this? Because some of the biggest hitters in the game are likely to see that the distance that they can propel a tee shot being shortened to around 15 yards. Now, that might not seem much to you, but it means a lot. And why? It's because the specifications around the ball may be changed.
Yeah.
Well, the idea being is that some of the golfers in the game can now hit balls much harder and much further than ever before. In fact, some of the golf course owners have had to change some of their specifications to accommodate. Now, what does this really mean overall? Well, some people, the purists, will say, why even change it at all? It's just progress. It
Yeah.
means that some of our golfers, amateur and even professional, are just showing their adept skills. Question
Yeah.
from Pete. I ask you, this is also going to affect global golf manufacturers and many others in the sport. Do you think there's a need for change? Or maybe we're putting things in the wrong place.
Well, yes, that's a possibility, but as in the putting could always go
Of
awry
course.
in golf. But I think it's something that happens in any sport where there's any sort of equipment. Runners can now run faster because
Oh,
they've
yeah.
got better shoes and a better track.
Yep.
Swimmers can swim faster because they have a swimsuit that's more streamlined than the body. We have in tennis. Tennis is now easier to play. Even I can play some of the
Yep.
shots
The rackets are better.
because the rackets are so much better, and the amount of power you can get to a racket. I mean, it means that maybe they're going to have to make was discussed a few years ago, making the net higher in
Yes,
tennis,
that's true.
so that you can't simply slam the serve down if you're 6'4" with one of these new rackets. So golf is similar to that. I mean, what I would say is it's also like this. Is another analogy. It's like an arms race. You could say, well, we've got these weapons and they're very effective, but then people develop armor to protect you from those weapons. So now your weapon isn't good enough. It was a perfectly good weapon, but now you have to develop better weapons, and then the armor manufacturers have to develop better armor, and it goes on like that. And it's always the case. As soon as there's any equipment, technology could improve things. So let's take it to golf. What we've got is a situation where the golf courses aren't big enough. If I'm reading this right, they're not big enough because the golf clubs, with these new golf clubs, there's a big increase in how long the average drive is. Is that right?
Here's to back this up. Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, some of the Golf Association leaders, and here's one, Chief Executive Martin Slumbers, who is part of the RNA and USA United States Golf Association, has said this is a trend we need to take very seriously. Golf courses are growing ever longer, and we need to have a responsibility about protecting the integrity of golf courses, protecting the balance of skills and technology and how the game is played. But he goes on to say, but also the sport has to take its responsibilities and be cognizant of our environmental and sustainability impacts. Making golf courses ever longer, we start to run out of property and it is not environmentally responsible. Now, here's the thing, because a lot of golf balls, for those who are aware of them, they're not very user-friendly when it comes to recycling. They're very densely packed. They're very manufactured with plastics and many other materials. Yeah. So, and I'm sure that some environmentalists have already complained about stray golf balls, lost golf balls in hedgerows, in ponds, and many other things. And it's true that can affect wildlife. But here's the point when it comes to the pure game. Absolutely, many particular golf course owners have had to adjust their acreage or adjust their greens and their fairways to accommodate. Now, interestingly, the PGA Tour's biggest hitter is Rory McIlroy. Now, he's
Right.
among several players who can drive an average of more than 320 yards. That's a long way, folks. And that actually beats the previous average, which is like the circuit average of 299.9 yards. So what you're seeing is that some of the players, certainly those new talents coming into the game, can do a lot more than some of their previous generations. Now, some of it is down to technique. Some of it is just down to the physical prowess of a golfer, but a lot of it is down to technology.
Yeah.
I definitely agree that, when you sort of look at a golf ball, if you think about having to change, say, for example, the club, that would be very, very expensive because there are different makes manufacturers in the world, and I don't think that that's practical. If you're trying to shorten the distance you can hit a ball, is there maybe some other techniques by putting more bunkers in or making the golf course a little bit more complex? Is that another way of doing it? And the reason I say it is that means that if they do change the specification of the ball, meaning no matter how much you try to hit it over distance, it won't go as far, manufacturers are going to be affected. They've got to change their entire specification. They've got to change the materials that they use. Is that really fair on them?
Well, the thing is, if you look at changing golf courses, there's a problem really because some of these golf courses are historic places. People have played them over the years, and so if you change the ball so it can't be driven as far, you mean that you can keep. It means that you can keep using these historic golf courses as they're currently set up, so you can compare them with previous years and things like that. So, to me, it seems like a better, more elegant solution. But maybe there's others, and someone may well come up with something. I mean, it is possible, of course, to put in place regulations that mean that you can't use some of the clubs that make it easier to hit further. So
yes,
that's another way of doing it. To attack it, if you like, to hit it from another angle, you could change the clubs. Let's say there's we're going to have a look at your clubs, but that makes it quite difficult because people bring a range of clubs and you've got to investigate all of them. Whereas the balls in a tournament, you can say that you can only use these balls and we supply them. And then that's it. It's a simple change. So to me, it seems an elegant solution that provides the answer. Yes. But it's just inevitable, as I say, when technology is involved, there are going to be improvements. So there's going to be an arms race.
I know a few golfers, and one thing that is interesting here is that on the professional circuit, for sure, there is an advantage, especially for those who, on the short holes, what seem to be perceived to be short is less short, if you can get it onto the actual green in one hit. But the fact is that you may be able to drive the ball a long distance, but it's not a guarantee that it'll give you a full advantage. Some players are not as adept at the fairway as they might be on the putting green. So it is a technique, and golf is a very, very challenging sport. So, my air on this is I'm going to go back to the purists, which is why change it now? I just think that maybe some of our owners of the game and those of golf courses perhaps are overthinking this a little bit too much, and why not just sort of measure the game accordingly and allow players to be able to reach the standards and push the game to new levels?
Yes, I mean, I guess that is the point. I mean, just because some players are now finding it easier doesn't to reach the green doesn't mean that the game is ruined. It makes it slightly different, that it's more it's then based more around the putting. But that could be true with the existing courses. As you build new courses, you can make them longer. So maybe I'm taking on board your point there, Mark. Maybe it's just a question of time and letting new courses fill in the gap of people being tested on their ability to drive, which won't be there so much amongst the top players. I mean, like you and myself, Mark. But for people who aren't quite up to that high standard, then it may not be an issue.
Well, I think we've reached the 19th hole now, and I think we should ask our listeners,
Yes,
what do you think? Do they like the new rules?
Yes,
We'd love to hear from them.
Yes, let us know. Go to markandpete.com. Make sure you are subscribed, and you can leave a comment on this and every episode. But for now, it's bye from Mark and myself, and catch you next time.